Right on. All right. Hey, it's story time. It's story time. Yahoo! Story time. Yahoo! Basically, I want to tell you guys a story about when I was a kid. Okay? Or no, and I'll tell you what, I'm not either. Story time. Story time. Yahoo! I'm going to tell you guys a story about when I lived in India. Okay? When I lived in India. I hope not too many people have heard the story. But basically, when I lived in India, okay, um, when I lived in India, I was working for an ADT dealership called IBA Security. I had been in the Philippines working for about 2 years, and we were over there teaching people how to sell and install security systems. Okay, and basically, they wanted me to go to India, and I agreed to go to India. So what I did was I flew over to Bombay, and then I ended up flying to a city called Bangalore, India. It has 6.5 million people that live in it. And I found a good hotel there. And basically, I checked into the hotel, and it was a five-star hotel in India. It was called Leela Palace, and it was on the main road right there in India. And what I did was I went in and I met the manager, talked to the manager, told him I might be staying for about 3 months. The rooms were like $110 a day. Now in India, believe me, $110 a day is a lot of money. But you know, over here you'd stay at a Super 8 and it might cost you $100. Anyway, I checked in there and I got some rest because it took me 20 hours on an airplane to get there from the United States. And so the next day I woke up and I went downstairs, and there was a couple of bus boys that worked in the coffee shop there. And they were pretty chatty and pretty friendly, and they liked the idea that I was an American, and they were talking and we were talking. And so I asked them some questions about where to do this and where to do that. And my job was to go over there and hire 20, maybe 30 people and train them, okay, in a classroom. And I needed to find the classroom. I needed to find a place. I needed to just, I was the point man, the man from the very beginning. There was nobody after me, nobody before me. I was the first guy the company sent there. And so anyway, I asked him, where can I get some copies made? I wanted to get some copies made of employment applications, and I needed to buy some pencils and pens and that kind of stuff. And I talked to the manager, and they had this one room there that was like a banquet room, only they had big ones and small ones. And I went ahead and rented the small one for a couple of days, or in a couple of days we were going to use it. And basically I thought, I'll find out where the newspaper is, and I'll put an ad in the newspaper, and I'll sit here all day long, and if we're lucky, maybe 10 or 15 people will show up, and I'll give them an application and talk to them, and if they speak good enough English, then we'll give them a job. So anyway, I found out where the newspaper was, and I went down there and I placed an ad in the Bangalore newspaper, and I waited a day, and the newspaper came out, and I woke up that morning, and I had a little coffee machine there, and I drank a cup of coffee, and normally I'd sit there for about an hour and clear my head, smoke a few cigarettes, what the hell, and wait for my head to clear, and then I would go downstairs and get something to eat in the coffee shop. Okay, so I went ahead and drank my coffee, and I'm sitting there and I'm clearing my head and I'm smoking my first cigarette, and the phone rings. So I reached over and I picked up the phone, and it's the manager on the phone, and he's excited. He's crazy. He's madder than hell, okay? He's wanting me to get down to the lobby and get down there fast, right now, he said. So I thought, wow, this is kind of crazy. So anyway, I got dressed and put some clothes on and threw some water on my face, and I go downstairs and I look around, and goddamn, the entire lobby is full of people. And everywhere you look, it's just people, people, people everywhere, okay? Everywhere, like you can't believe it. And the manager standing right there as I come down the elevator, he grabs me by the arm, and we go into his office, and he's pissed off. I mean, he's screaming and he's yelling and he's going crazy. So I'm telling him, okay. I'll find out, he's telling me these people are all here. They're all asking for me. They all want to talk to me. So I'm telling him, okay. So anyway, I I run back up, take the elevator back, and I run down to my room, and I get all the applications. Now, here's the joke part. I had that guy make 50 applications because I'm thinking maybe in the next 2 or 3 months, I can use 50 applications. What the hell, right? So anyway, I run downstairs, and I tell these two busboys in the coffee shop, hey, guys, look, quit your jobs. I'll give you full-time jobs, and we'll pay you 3 times what you're making right now. And they go, I don't know. I said, look, and here's $100 bill. I gave them both $100 American, okay? Now, that's what they made working there as a busboy in a month, all right? So they're both going, yeah, I'll do that. So both these busboys quit their job. I mean, literally quit their job right there. And they come in, and I said, now, look, I took one of the applications. I said, you need to go and get about 400, 500 of these made real quick and get some more pencils, too. And I tell the other guy, look, come into this room. And as these people start coming in here, giving them an application and give them a pencil and then collect the applications after they filled them out. And then what I want you to do is I want you to talk to them a little bit. And the ones that seem like they speak halfway decent English, bring them on over and introduce them to me, and I'll do a personal interview, okay? So he says, okay, cool. So anyway, we're there. About a half hour, about an hour goes by, and the other guy comes back with the 500 applications, and we start passing them out and trying to collect them and trying to do interviews. Next thing you know, the manager comes in, and he's pissed, and he's got a policeman with him, right? And I'm going, what the hell's going on here? The manager is so pissed off, it's absolutely unreal. And the policeman comes in, and he takes all of my papers and takes everything and tells me, you're coming with me right now. And I said, what are you talking about? So anyway, we go outside and we go out there, and the whole lobby is just covered with water. And there's, there's like 5,000 or 6,000 people there that are showing up for this job where maybe we're going to hire 20 or 30 people, I mean, 5,000 or 6,000 people in a 5-star hotel, in the lobby, in the parking lot. They're out in the weeds peeing. They're in the flower beds peeing. And what happened was the cesspool down underneath the hotel had gotten so full from so many people flushing the toilet and using the urinal that it had overflowed all over the entire hotel. Oh, my God. And we're having to walk through the water just to get out of the hotel. Everything is just covered with it. I mean, pee, poop, toilet paper, everything you can think of. Oh, my God, So anyway, the cops, they take me down to the police station and put me in jail and tell me, hey, mister, you're going to sit right here until the damage is paid to that hotel. And I'm going, what the hell? So anyway, I talked to one of the policemen there, and he let me use a cell phone. So this is in the daytime. It's probably like 3 o'clock in the afternoon in India. That means it's like 3 o'clock in the morning in the United States. So I'm calling my boss at 3 o'clock in the morning. Please answer the phone. Please answer the phone. And all these Indians are in this jail cell, and they're looking at me weird. And I don't think any of them even spoke English. If they did, they didn't speak much. But anyway, I'm freaking out. I'm in jail in India, okay? And the cop's saying, you're going to sit right here forever, And I'm going, oh, my God. Anyway, I talked to my boss, and my boss said, okay, they'd get on the phone and they'd wire some money. And so they're going to wire money to the hotel and blah, 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 blah. I ended up sitting in that jail cell for 18 hours until the hotel manager finally got money. And it was like $8,000 worth of damage that was done to the hotel. $8,000 worth of damage. And I was never so happy in my whole life that my company paid the damage bill and paid everything and didn't fire me. I mean, hey, usually when you send an employee somewhere and he stays at a hotel and he does $8,000 worth of damage, they fire you, you know what I mean? But, oh my God, I freaked out, man. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, these people are going to keep me and they're going to throw the key away and these people are never going to pay. So anyway, I get out of jail and I go out and I catch a cab and I take the cab back to the hotel, and I'll be a son of a bitch. The manager comes down and says, hey, I want you to pack all your shit and get the hell out of the hotel right now. So, when I I've been sitting in jail all night long, you know what I mean, and all day long, and now, I'm going, hey, geez, I haven't had any sleep, I haven't had anything to eat, and this guy's telling me pack my shit and get out. And here I'm in a city of 6.5 million people, and I don't know anybody in the world. I don't know anybody. So anyway, I went and caught a cab and told the guy, take me to another hotel. And he took me over to another hotel, and I checked in and I went to sleep. But I went through all those applications that we took that day, and we ended up hiring 60 people. I stayed there and worked for 4.5 years. And when I left there, I went to Bombay to try and do the same thing again. We had 600 employees at the place, and it was running great. I mean, absolutely great. And we had 600 employees when I left there, 4.5 years later. Okay. Anyway, that's what happened, and can you believe that, man? I ended up sitting in jail there for 18 hours waiting for my boss to pay for the damages. 6,000 or 7,000 people. The cops are making, get out of here, you have to leave. They're making all these people leave that place, And 6,000 or 7,000 people showed up for an ad where we're going to hire 20 people for a job. I couldn't believe it, Anyway, life's crazy, man. I worked for IBA Security, and it was the second largest ADT dealership in the whole world. And India was a real trip, believe me, like nothing you ever seen before in your life. The place is dirty, filthy, nasty, stinky. If you think LA was bad in the 70s, I'm talking about the smog, it's nothing compared to Bangalore. Bangalore has the worst smog I've ever seen in my whole life. But the best part about Bangalore were the people. All the people were really friendly and really honest and really loving and really caring. And I met the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life in Bangalore, India. Just unbelievable how hospitable and kind and gentle and wonderful, wonderful people and wonderful, wonderful place. And I loved it. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to my bullshit. And now we're back to the playing RuneScape, which is my true love, okay? Yahoo! We're back to playing RuneScape, which is my true love. Yahoo! Yahoo! So the moral of the story is, don't go to India or you'll get put in jail. And believe me, the food's terrible. The food is terrible. Hey, the food in the Indian jail is worse than the food in the Mexican jail. And I know firsthand. I'll tell you that story later. Yeah, the food in an Indian prison jail is worse than the Mexican food in a Mexican jail. And I'll tell you that story next time.